Hello and welcome. Hi, it's Neil here again from Data+Train, and welcome to day number 16 in August. So live stream number 16. If it's the first time visiting us, say hello in the chat, subscribe, click the like if you like the content, and ring that notification bell if you want to be alerted to the next video going out or live stream. So what are we going to cover tonight? So let's kind of grab that out of the way. Oh, it's got the wrong, get my cursor back. Okay, it seems to be playing funny games with me today. Oh, there we go. Okay, let me just wait for that to come up. And here we go. This is what I'm looking for. And there we go. I was just checking my stream was on, and it looks like it is. So what are we going to do tonight? What are we going to do in this live stream? Well, we're going to, again, kind of have a look at the DA-100. We're going to cover some new content that we haven't covered before in one of the previous live streams. And I have spent pretty much most of the day actually decommissioning the whole studio and recommissioning it. I think I'll actually just do a quick kind of a back view for you to kind of see that. Let me just kind of grab my full screen, and then I'm going to just quickly change over to the back view. And this is the new improved layout studio, a little bit more accessible, a little bit more kind of on point in terms of the audio, the video, and everything else. So kind of a high from the back end. And let's go cut back to the front there. There we go. So we've got some get the chair kind of just to sit in the right position. There we go. So kind of just doing the final few tweaks, but I had to literally decommission everything. I was getting a bit of a sound feedback somewhere in a cable, and I spent like an hour and a half trying to troubleshoot it. Couldn't figure. So you know what? I wanted to rearrange things, so I just decommissioned everything and recommissioned it as well. New cables, a bit of a kind of layout. Again, I'm kind of losing my cursor today, so let me kind of grab that. There we go. So let's go and look at what is different or what's new we're going to show in the DA-100. By the way, if you are looking for a 4-day course, we do have one, and we have one at an amazing price for you. So normally the price for the DA-100 for the 4-day course would be something around about £2,500, and just kind of just to kind of get that kind of visibility for you. Let's kind of just go to move that out of the way a little bit. So we want the DA-100 exam. And I was going to put one of the kind of major big providers that I kind of do a lot of work with as well. So global knowledge. See if I can remember how to type today. There we go. So let me kind of look at what the global knowledge one will be. We want the kind of, let's have a look. There we go. Wrong one. Let's go back. There we go. So currently they've got it as, again, it's not one I was looking for. Where's the DA-100 for global knowledge? I think it's this one here. Click on the link. There we go. So it's a 4-day course. Oops. Need to go and restart. I forgot, if you restart your machine, you've got to restart some of your programs. So let me just fix that a little bit. Just go and get my zoom it. And zoom in a little bit and give you a bit more visibility to everything. There we go. Let's grab that out of the way. And let's kind of zoom in. So we say it's a 4-day course, instructor-led. We are running this course in October as the next one. So we had one in August. That's going ahead. Kind of. We're also doing one in October from the dates of the 19th to the 22nd of October. Notice actually they've got there slightly wrong. It was originally a 5-day. It became a 4-day. And I don't think they've had a chance to go and kind of correct their number of days there. But 19th to the 22nd is what I will be doing. Looks like they're doing a similar one. And their price is £2,445. We will be doing ours for the grand price of £447.50. Is that, why is it that price? Well, essentially our main price is, again, where's the cursor going with me there? Our main price is, and it's going to go to my ticket facility right now. I do have a new website that's being made up, but this is the October release. If you click on the student's price and go in, you'll see that the pricing for this is $895. But what we've done is we've made it available with a 50%. I'm gonna have to warm up my hands because it's not happening with me today. Okay, so I put in the 50% discount code called TRAIN. That's TRAN, and that's made it half price. So 44750 instead of 2,445. So really about £2,000 less. If you're interested, I will have the details in the description below, and you'll be able to kind of see that. If you are looking to kind of get on the stream and want to kind of chat, do go in the chat window. We have our chat facility, social facility up and running. So say hi if you want to say hi. Any questions you have, also throw those at me as well. Okay, so there's the, again, okay, I'm not sure what's happening with my cursor today. I just have lost it again. Let's have a look, see kind of. Okay, I'm just gonna have to work my way over. There it goes, okay. I do have an application that kind of, it seems to be intermittently breaking my cursor and disappears off the screen. So I'm just going to stop using that app for now. So let's go look at what we have in the DA-100. So say you may be following the live streams, and we're going to have these different episodes where we're kind of gathering all the information, sharing that with you, and building up a number of videos with 13 videos per month. And you probably heard me say this before if you've been here before. 13 in August, September, October, and November, and we're spreading basically 25% on each of the categories. That's kind of aligns to the competency and the along with the kind of skills being measured, and the objective domain, which is kind of the skills are kind of broken down into these 5 functional groups: prepare the data, model the data, functional, analyze the data, and deploy, maintain deliverables. Looks like I can't speak tonight. Not sure why. Nothing unusual going on, but my brain just seems to be having a problem with speaking. It happens. So I'm just going to kind of go into a little bit more about the prepare the data. Let's go and pick the prepare the data kind of sessions and the associate learning path we have for here. So if we look down, we've got a number of them, and we're currently in the prepare the data kind of modules. And if we go down and look, we're going to look into now the clean, transform, and load data. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at combine multiple tables into a single table. So we're going to have a quick look at how we can take a single table and maybe other columns from that and either merge it so that we got all the columns from both tables, so kind of a left join, or we can append the queries where we're putting the data appended to the bottom. So think about kind of adding new records to your table over like maybe a daily or monthly process, and you want to append that records to the bottom. Then we have the append queries options as well. Okay, so over time we can kind of build the kind of merges for me is like a view inside a SQL, where we're going to take columns from multiple tables, and doing a join, we can work out how they're going to be kind of, put together as a single table. So let's have a look at some examples here. You can see we go down, we have some records here. This is the kind of append where we're looking at the records, and we have some IDs, and then we're going to add in another set of IDs, and all the column names are exactly the same, and what we're just doing is putting additional records in the bottom. So think about new customers or new employees or new products you're putting out there. Anything that requires kind of an extra row, a new row of data, the append is going to obviously be our friend here. And we can go to the append queries as new or append queries inside of the Power BI. So let's go look at that. Let's go and open up a brand new Power BI file. So we're going to start Power BI desktop, that is. If you are looking to kind of do some of these trainings and want to kind of get to grips with this, we have a dashboard in the day recommendation for you. So that is a single one-day course. You can download all the materials and you can walk your way through that, and it has full instructions in different labs. I'm going to go and open those in a second to show you. But that's how it opened up. Let's go and say we want to bring some data in. So what are we going to bring? Well, we've got different sources like Excel. We've got different, so we go into, I think, this one here, and we're going to the financial sample. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to add the records in twice. I'm going to add them in, and I'm going to kind of bring it in again, and I'm going to append it. What I then do is I deduplicate. So what you might find sometimes is you only want one record, but you kind of maybe have that record or a new version of the record in the next data set, and we want to kind of work out which ones we're going to keep. So maybe the latest one. So let's kind of look at doing the financials. So I've got that there. You'll see there's also sheet 1. I can kind of click on that, and it's pretty much the same thing. So I'm just going to click this one here called financials. Get rid of sheet 1. Actually, no, what I'll do, I'll load both of them. Nice and easy. Going to load both of them. So essentially, I've got 2 copies of the same thing. One called sheet 1, one called financials. That's coming from the Excel file that we just loaded. If you want the link to the financials XLS, I'm going to put that in the description below, and you'll be able to go to that specific file in Microsoft Learn and download that. So let's go look. We've got the 2 files there now. We can go in and look. Let's have a quick look to see what we have here. We have financials, and we have 700 rows. And let's go to the, come back. There we are. And we have 700 rows in there. So they are identical sets of data. Okay. There's nothing different between these data sets. What we're going to do is we're going to go into the home page. I'm going to go to transform data. We want to go into the Power Query Editor. This is where we can do a number of kind of transformations. Now we want to do a combine. So we're going to go to the ribbon, the main bar at the top here, and we're going to go across to the combine section. And you can see here what we have is we have merge queries and append queries. So we kind of zoom in with actually the ability to look at this. So merge queries and merge queries as new. So essentially what we would do there on this one here, let's kind of hover over it a little bit. There we go. It's going to merge the queries, but it creates a new query. So basically it takes the 2 original ones and creates it as a new one. Whereas the other one will kind of merge them and put them together. So you might want to keep the original tables and have it merged as a new table or query. And you may want to keep them or just kind of do the merge and be done with it. So I'm just going to do as new. And it's going to say, what do we want? So let me kind of zoom out a little bit. So I want to do sheet 1, and I want to do that with financials. Now it's saying, well, what is the join that we're doing here? Okay, so if we look down, we can kind of see that we have a number of different columns here. And basically we're doing a left outer join that's matching all from the second. So this would essentially just bring in the same records, essentially. So we're going to do the dates, and we're going to do date. And where's the other one I want to do? So you can see if we can find it. I had it here earlier. Yeah, so I think just date was the only one I needed there. So going to grab date on both of those. And there was another one here. Let me see if we can find it. Where was it? Okay, so I want the product and date. And we want bottom one, we want product. And we want date. And we're going to do left out join. So I'm just going to show kind of that we're going to do a match of the records. Now, this is just a kind of prescribed one. You see here that we get the same number of columns will be visible from both, and we're going to have the ability to. So actually, that's kind of I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll do that, and I'm just going to select the columns that I want. I'm just going to have them all the same columns from the first one and all the same columns from the second one. So I'm just kind of like append them either side. So we've got kind of there. Now we've got the OK. Now, reason being, you have to have the same number of columns to kind of be able to do the merge. So we'll kind of just do that as a new one. Now you can see here, if we look at this, we have the values, and then we have essentially the financials is at the end, and it's got this little kind of expansion icon. So the first one was from sheet 1, and then we kind of got an error because essentially there's no way for it to identify the individual records. So we need to go and put an ID essentially in to say, what's the combination? So we'd actually have a kind of calculated column to say, let's combine the dates with, say, a product ID or some other value in there. And we look at the error, you'll see kind of what that problem is. So you support text columns for fuzzy joins. So actually, sorry, the unit sold is not the fuzzy join. That's I did forget about that. Let me go and change that 1 second. So I'm going to take the back a step. Okay, so cancel on that. Let's go and remove that for a second and go and do that once more. So merge queries. Actually, I was thinking I don't want to merge this. I just want to append them. I was actually doing the wrong example. So my apologies there. Let me kind of grab the append queries. So here, 2 tables. That's what I was looking for. Sheet 1, and we want to obviously append the financials to sheet 1. So sheet 1, and let me kind of go back to sheet 1 because it looked like it had an error on it. So I'm just going to refresh the data set and refresh the data set just to make sure everything's kind of back to where it should be. Good. Okay. Now I'm going to do the append. So I'm going to grab the first one. I'm going to go to append queries. Going to add the table to append, which in this case will be financials, and click OK. Now, because the columns are identical, it's kind of going to make the data 1,400 rows instead of there. You can see what we got is we go to the appended queries. You can see we go to the, where we go back here. There we go. And okay, why am I getting, there we go. Okay. There's the cursor. Okay. So the cursor just appeared in Monfils. So I'm basically appending those 2 tables. Now, if I go and close and apply, what we get is the 1,400 rows. You can see at the bottom, I've now essentially created 1,400 rows. Okay. Because I took 700 rows and I appended another 700, just as a kind of example. What I want to do now is I want to deduplicate that. Okay. So let me go back to transform. And on the final step here, on the append queries, I'm going to now want to do a transform. Okay, and what we want to do here is we want to remove the duplicates here. So there's a couple of ways of kind of doing the duplicates here on this. We can go to tools, sorry, wrong one, go to home. Okay, and we want to, where is the remove duplicates? For 11 reasons, something here today, there we go. Okay, so let's click on here. That's what I'm looking for. I'm going to go to the very top icon, this one in the very top corner. Okay, and you see where it says remove duplicates, or we get to do, keep duplicates. So in this case, I want to remove duplicates. So I'm going to click on that drop down, click remove duplicates. And essentially now it's done a additional step. So if we go and look at that advanced editor, we can see that we had an append query, and we appended the financials data set. And obviously that duplicated our rows from 700 to 1,400. And then we've got another one. So try that again. So we've got the financials being added, and then we've got a second step, which we're going to remove or make a distinct list. Now, if in this second list you had maybe 500 the same, but 200 were new, we would have 900 records. In this case, we've only got kind of 2 sets of exactly the same data. But what you could do potentially then is find out of the ones that have been removed, kind of, do I want the most recent record? Do I want to keep it for maybe ordering and keeping the most recent? So I may have an older value that's replaced by the newer value. So what we might want to do is do a few extra steps where we go and remove the duplicates or the duplicated rows from the first data set, and then just append the second one, which then gives us a unique set from the first and a unique set from the second, but the second set is the more recent, and combined together we have those 900 rows. So that would be something like we could do for creating an up-to-date data set. And there's other ways we can do that. Obviously, if it's something like in a database, we can do other techniques as well. Now, there's a bunch of other capabilities that we can do. So let's go and pick a couple of examples here. So here's a couple of columns. If I right click, you can see that we have the ability to merge those columns, group by, unpivot, move those position wise, add columns from examples. So a ton of other kind of column related capabilities. So we can append rows, we can modify the columns, we can transform the data types, so we can capitalize things like the words. So here I might have an uncapitalized word under product. I can come in and capitalize each word. And I can also go and do, say, a profiling on the data. And if I click on that, and I can see maybe kind of the results of the value distribution and how many of in each type. And that also potentially would highlight problems with misspelling. So maybe something that is broken into 2 words when it should be 1. So you sometimes find that people spell things differently from different countries or different kind of ways, or just incorrectly, it was just spelt wrong. And you want to go and maybe do a replace values. So find the one that's wrong. So example might be the word Waterloo, should be one word, but it might be water space loo. Somehow when it comes to some type, they got a space in there. We might want to kind of remove that water space loo and replace it to Waterloo. So when we do it, it combines into that one grouping. And that could be very useful or very required for your reporting, because if you're trying to count by categories or products and you've got misspellings, essentially you could have 2 or 3 different versions of that product. And that then is going to give you incorrect summed values, averages, calculations. All those kind of calculations would be essentially incorrect, because essentially it's taking them as different values. So some examples of what we do. Now we will be going through and creating very in-depth videos that take you through this step by step, take you through kind of how to ingest data, go into the Power Query editor, transform the data, change the data type. So for example, we have here this in 1.2, which is a decimal number. Okay. Now you might find that you just want that to be a whole number for some reason, or it could be that you do want it to be, it could be a summation. It could be like sales. So sales here, look at this one, sales, it's 1.2. We don't want that 1.2. We want it in fixed decimal number. We want it in dollars or pounds. So essentially, if you look at the value now, it's got a fixed decimal point of 2 decimal points, but it's now got a dollar symbol next to that. Now what we do is we kind of come into the actual reports. We can then kind of localize the currency value and put that in there. So you notice when we're in here, we don't have this as a currency, but we have the decimal and the fixed decimal. And what we're going to do is to come into the report now. So that is sheet 1, sales. Let's go and do home and close and apply. So we're kind of building the model now, putting that into the data set. And if we come into the sales for this, so we're going to go to sheet 1. Going to make that a little bit larger as well. You can see that we have gross sales and we have that value there. Let's go and grab that and put that into our window. So check the box. And at the moment, it's just a number. Okay, so it doesn't have any formatting. So if I highlight that and I can come over to the format pane, I can change that into a currency format. So I'm going to click that. Now I've got a currency format of, in terms of this, it's dollars at the moment, because that's what it's currently set to. But I can go and change that format into euros, pounds, whatever that might need to be. These are some of the common ones, but there's a whole list of them, as you can see there. So I'm going to go with my my favorite currency, which is the pound. If you're doing financials, you probably want to work out how many decimal points you're going to do this to, because 2 might not be enough for your specific calculations. You may be going to a higher degree of accuracy in that. Okay. Under the covers is actually, going to be the data type is going to be reported internally. So just be aware of the calculations and make sure that they're fully on point for what you're trying to do. But generally 2 decimal points is kind of the norm for that. So let's go and find the cursor again. I don't know why it just disappears on me. So I am now looking for the cursor. There it goes. If I stop looking at it, it just goes and has a wander around. So I'm going to go to the modeling tab and I go to in here. And I notice that we have the currency now is showing in the pound symbol because we've applied the formatting to that. Okay. But we have obviously sales, which hasn't got that on there. We haven't got profit either. And discounts will also probably, so all of these would probably need to also be in the same one, and probably units sold would be down to 1 or 2 decimal points. So I think we've got at least 1 decimal point there. So you obviously selling a half carton or half of something. So it depends on what your pricing is. Pricing might again be in a currency. Sales price might be currency. So you need to kind of look at all of these and go, how do I want to represent these? And what is so that's the first thing you're going to do, is probably figure out what is your data types that you need to apply to all of your model, because then when you start doing your calculations, you're going to have the right formatting, and you might be able to do summations. It depends on what your data types are. And also you have the ability for categories to, example, if we've got lat longs in your data set. So I've done some recently where some of the data is lat longs, and classifying the category of this data. But generally here, we're going to pick the whole number, decimal, or fixed decimal. In this case, we actually want this to be fixed decimal. Now you see here, it's going to say I'm changing the data type. So you can change it in two places. You can change it when you load it into the model. When it's loaded in the model, you can also go and change it again. So I've done it so that it was decimal number coming in, and I want now to be fixed decimal. So I'm actually changing the data type, the way it's represented internally inside of Power BI. Okay, so I'm going to say yes. And notice those 4 digits are going to still be there, because what we're changing is just the underlying kind of way it's stored, not the formatting that you've applied. So we probably have nothing on the last 2 decimal points because we're fixing it as a 2 decimal point data type. So be aware that kind of that can get a little bit confusing sometimes. Come back and look at what you have inside your table. Go to transform data, and essentially what you need to look at is the column. And in this case, we got a data type of fixed decimal. Okay, so decimal number. That's what it's coming out from into the model. So when I load that and do close and apply, that's what it's coming out at. If I then go into the model and change that to be a decimal or fixed decimal, like we did with sales, goes cursor back again. Here we go. Then we have a different data type. So try and make sure you're being consistent in the way that you're bringing data in, because it can get a little bit confusing if you're trying to figure out why things don't look right, or are not calculating 100%, or the accuracy is being rounded. Some of the issues may be down to the data types you're doing that. So let's have a quick time check. Good. We're nearly done. I've not seen anything from the, kind of just have a quick look. Not seeing anything from the chat window. So let me just see if I can make sure that's running. I think it is. So again, I'm going to find that cursor of mine and come down to that. And yep, it's ready to go. Okay, so we're going to kind of wrap things up for today. The episodes that I have been promising for pretty much the last 2 weeks now for the prepare the data. I finally got the audio kind of fixed, so it's nice sounding audio now inside of my studio when I record. I've got the editing function, so it can kind of actually do the smoothing of this sound a little bit. It'll be a bit more processed than it is on this stream, so a little bit smoother. The volumes will be a little bit more adjusted, etc. Bit of sound in the background, and we're going to do the video recordings coming this week. So look out for later this week. You'll see the episodes kind of start appearing as I get through them, and I'm hoping to catch up very, very quickly. We should have had 6 episodes already. So the episodes, by the way, just kind of going to give you the time frame on this. Okay, so they're every Monday. Oh, okay, let's try that again. It was a little bit close to the edge of the window. There we go. Stop. So fortunately, this Zoom doesn't work very well. I need to stop it there. There we go. Okay. So every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we should have a video. So we should have had 6 videos out so far. I'm going to get those videos done as quickly as we can next week. And so by Friday, we should have had 9 videos out. By Friday, 9 videos will be done. So I don't know exactly the cadence of getting them out the door next week, but I'm pretty much just working on those all next week. I'll get the videos up there. And then the following Monday and Wednesday and Friday, these days here, we'll be releasing a new video. So video number 10, 11, 12. And then the final Monday is the 31st, is going to be number 13. And then we go in September and we'll have the model the data ones. So they're coming very soon. I've got pretty much everything done now, so I can start recordings. Heatwave's gone, audio issues have been sorted out, and the video is also recording in a nice 4K, so I can do some good editing on that and get it nice and sharp for you. So we're doing kind of end of the session. If you like what you saw, give me a like, give me a smash of the button, say hello if you want to in the chat window, or afterwards in the recordings. If you see a recording, hi guys, put a comment in there if you have a question or at all. I will look at those, and we will see you tomorrow at 8:30. So thank you for joining us. It's been awesome, and I'm just going to finish off with, see if I can get this working. First time go. Here we go. Excellent. So I'm starting to dial it all in now. This is my first couple of weeks of being on YouTube, so live streaming. So I'm still finding my feet a little bit, but we've done really well. We are, I think, up to over 500 subscribers now, and it's great to have you join us. And I've got a ton of material coming away, not just for the DA-100, but for a bunch of other Microsoft data courses, Power BI, data science, SQL Server. Kind of my favorite, probably because that's kind of where I came from. I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of Power BI is one of my passions. It's something I do consulting wise. I've also been involved in the DA-100 certification in terms of scoping out the content that's going to be in that and some of the exam questions as well. So it's been great having you. I will see you very soon. Thank you for joining. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.